Yes, good morning, man. Good morning. It is Monday. You know the vibes already. We are back. We're back in the building for the Game Week 13 roundup. I did promise that I would, do you know what I mean, I would start going live a tad bit more. I know it's early, but I just needed to get this out of the way, to be honest. We've got a very, very busy day ahead. Make sure you smash the like, whether you're watching this live, whether you're watching this on the replay. This will be redirected over to FamZone. They will be going live at, I believe, 11. I think it's 11 o'clock, Dean and ends. We'll be talking all things Liverpool, so make sure you guys head on over there at 11 a.m. All right, let's go into it, man. The first game I wanted to talk about, obviously the big game, I would say the big game of the weekend, London derby, Chelsea versus Arsenal. This game was a firecracker, man. This game was a real firecracker. Good morning to you, Mustafa, man. Hope you're doing well, bro. This one was crazy, man. Obviously 1-1. It ended. League leaders being dropping points. Their challengers, would we say, if we're going by the table, Chelsea. I thought they played well. I genuinely think Chelsea were, for me, if I had to pick a winner, I would have gone with Chelsea. I think they were the better team. Even with 10 men, Moises Caicedo getting himself sent off. Was that a sending off? It's Daniel Sturridge mentioned something on at the end of the game or half. I can't remember, but I remember him talking about it, right? And he said during the actual phase of when this happened, it made sense that this would have been a yellow card at the time, because it all happened so fast, tackle, blah, blah, blah. Obviously, this is why we got VAR. This is what people want VAR for, to see these kind of challenges and all these other kind of things, right? But when it happened, I didn't think red card. That wasn't my first thought. Like, oh, that has to be. Nah, it didn't look like a red card. It just looked like he got there late, 100%. Definitely deserved the card. I didn't really think red. But when he slowed it down, that's when I said, oh, okay, yeah, all right. Now you have to give a red card. So yeah, it's one of those. Like, honestly, it is generally one of those. Red card, yellow, whatever. Like, Chelsea fans are going to tell you no. Arsenal fans are going to say yeah. It's really one of those. But if I'm just looking at it from a neutral standpoint, I was like, oh, I don't know, man. Like, if you didn't slow that down, was it that bad? Like, I don't know. I didn't really look at it like it was. I mean, clearly it wasn't a leg breaker, because he went on to score a goal later on in the game. So clearly he was fine enough to be able to continue. So yeah, it was one of those ones. But again, listen, I'm not here to split hairs. Like I said, Chelsea were a better team. Arsenal, I don't know. It just seemed like, even when, Chelsea went down to 10 men, I don't know, they didn't really feel like they had enough, really anything kind of going on. It didn't really look like that. I don't know. It seemed like they were running out of ideas. Chelsea just seemed to be organized. They seemed to understand what it is. Even going down to 10 men, they just seemed to know what they needed to kind of do. Reece James, I mean, bloody hell, man. Mustafa said James, best player. He's good in midfield. Listen, Reece James is, I mean, they talk about it. If you hear the England players, when they go away on their camps and stuff like that, you've heard them talk about him. People have spoken about Reece James in the past. Obviously, he's had an injury-riddled career up to this point. Getting injured, coming back for a few games, breaks down again, coming back. It's an endless cycle with him. But I can't lie, he is one of the most complete players I've seen in a very, very long time. As Mustafa's saying, he can play midfield, he can play in the back. I know he can play as a centre back. Like, bro, he's ridiculous. Technical ability is on point. He's strong. He's fast. I mean, he can do so much. He's an asset to Chelsea's team. Like, it's one of those. And if I'm looking at it on the face of it, I haven't watched England in time, so I don't know if he's in the squads and stuff like that. He's got to be a starter. Like, I don't really care who you drop. England are not that good. From what I know is available, England are not that good. Did you get what I'm trying to say? So I think Thomas Tuchel, yeah, you definitely need to be looking at someone like Reece James and saying, yeah, he has to be a starter in the team. Yeah, do you know what I mean? He has to be a starter. He's easily your best defender. Let's put it to you that way. Better than all the other defenders in the England team. He has to be going to the World Cup, and he has to be playing. Figure it out. After that point, you've got to figure out a system that allows for him to be able to thrive in there. If you can't do that, that's why I start questioning you. Unless you obviously go on to, win the World Cup, then fairs, I hold my hands up. But if you don't win the World Cup, yeah, I'm going to be looking at decisions like this. definitely. So yeah, we'd have to kind of wait and see in regards to that. Saka cross, Marino, bro. Again, Marino, like, honestly, when I think of Marino, yeah, when I think of like the style of player that he is and the thing, I'm like, yeah, he's not really like, if I was picking a team, I ain't picking Marino. Do you get what I'm trying to say? But this brother is so clutch. He is so clutch, man. It is mad. He just has a mad instinct. Like, I'll be real, you know what he reminds me of? He reminds me of Frank Lampard, but he just does it in a different way. Like, I don't expect him to necessarily get you 20 goals or whatever. I don't know how many goals he's on now, but I don't expect him to potentially get that. But boy, this brother knows where the back of the net is. Put him up front, he's scoring. Midfield, he's scoring. Like, he just always seems to be in the right positions at the right times. And he's just so good in the box, especially. Like, he is almost, I don't want to call him a fox in the box because I saved that for the Robbie Fowlers, the Ruud van Nistelrooys and stuff like that. But boy, if I'm thinking of a midfielder, he's as close as. Do you get what I'm trying to? And like I said, that's why it reminds me a bit of Frank Lampard, where they just know where the goal is. But he can just, I feel like he just does it in a different way, is what I'll say. As opposed to Frank Lampard, late runs into the box, can shoot from outside the box, take free kicks and all this kind of stuff. Whereas Marino, I'm like, yeah, you can put him up front and he's going to cause a danger. Play him as a striker, he causes issues. Put him in midfield, he makes those late Frank Lampard runs into the box. So, yeah, man, he's honestly a very, very good player. He reminds me of McTominay, box crashing instincts. Yeah, McTominay, like, obviously, I don't know if I'd call McTominay of Manchester United, but McTominay of Napoli, yeah, it's the same kind of thing where they just have this instinct. Now, obviously, the managers, they've utilized what this player is good at. And then, of course, they've had to then develop certain other little bits in their game. But yeah, when I'm looking at him, Marino is, brother, he's just so clutch, bro. He's so clutch. But listen, man, 1-1, Arsenal drop points. Chelsea, I guess you could say they dropped points as well. A draw, like I said, I think Chelsea were a better team for me. But listen, we'll leave it there. Next game, man, Manchester City versus Leeds United. Man City obviously scored a late winner, Phil Foden, getting the late goal. I mean, they weren't good from the highlights anyway that I saw. They just didn't really look that good. And Leeds are rubbish. Sorry, Leeds fans, but they're not good. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I'll be surprised if Leeds stay up this season. They're not that good. Watching them all season or seeing the highlights anyway from them this season, they're not that good. Man City just struggle. And listen, I know 3 points is all that matters. And I know, you know what I'm saying? That's all anybody's going to care about. That's all anybody's going to say. So I fully get that. But yeah, I don't know, man. I'm looking at Manchester City. I'm like, come on, City, man. Like, I expected a bit more of a comprehensive victory. Yeah, I mean, a bit more about you, man. A bit more about you. Like, yeah, it just didn't really look right, if I'm being totally honest with you. And I just think that when I look at it on the face of it, Arsenal's still the best team in the Premier League. And I think there is a bit of a gap, if I'm being totally honest with you, at this current moment in time. Obviously, we know things can change, results and all these kind of form and stuff like that. Injuries to certain players can obviously play a part. But yeah, I'm City, man. I definitely had higher hopes for you guys, to be honest with you. And this game just almost epitomized how I was feeling. Was just like, I expect City to go there. Even if you win 2-0, it really doesn't actually matter. It just needs to be a comprehensive victory. And this was not it for me, to personally speaking. And, conceding 2 goals like that, as I said, they're not going to care because they got the 3 points in the end. But as we know, and as we've seen with Liverpool, see these performances, they do match. So you do need to be careful that if you're not, what I'm saying, if you're not really on your A game and you're not really putting in that kind of effort, yeah, it's going to kind of show. So, yeah, like I say, it's one of those. They got the victory in the end. Haaland, super quiet, super duper quiet. I'm a bit annoyed because I put shot on target for Haaland and, yeah, that was all kind of fugazi. But listen, man, it is what it is. And they got the 3 points in the end. City defensively can be got at. Yeah. That's their problem. That is their problem. I envisage that they're going to be signing a few defenders, in my opinion. I feel like they're in, whether it's January or in the summer, depending on where they are come January in terms of how close they are to the top of the table. I think they might try and do it in Jan, but if not, then I feel like summer, they really need to invest in some centre-backs, man. Like, just centre-backs that can do what it is that they need to do for Manchester City. Do you get what I'm saying? It's like, I know they've got centre-backs and I know they've got players. I just don't think it's really working at this current moment in time. Now, listen, like I say, the season's long and anything can change. But at this moment in time, when I'm watching Manchester City, I'm just like, yeah, man, I need the old City back. You know what I'm saying? I need the old City back, man, because yeah, that City was good. That City was good. Foden needs to be consistent for City to challenge Arsenal. Foden needs to be consistent. Haaland needs to keep scoring. Like, these are all things that, if these people are doing it at like we saw it last season. Mo Salah was on a different planet to everybody else in the team, right? If you've got a player who can continuously keep doing that and consistently keep doing that, then you will, do you know what I'm saying? You'll be able to, you can go far. Yeah, kind of thing. But if you don't, then that's when it becomes a little bit, for the team, because then you're hoping that there's going to be another player in the team who can just, pull out some magic and, do these kind of things. And as I said, with performances versus results, yeah, eventually the two do collide, so they just need to sort it out. But listen, man, they got the victory in the end, man. Palace versus Man United. Very annoyed at this game. Very, very annoyed. I felt like, first of all, Mateta, like, obviously scored the penalty, right? Typical Mateta penalty. But he obviously had a chance before that. He just dragged it wide. I was like, bro, Mateta, man, sometimes, man, he's so annoying sometimes. Like, he generally is so annoying. The guy is such a handful. He's such a handful. He is a good player. They can be frustrating at times. And the problem with Crystal Palace is that, and I heard Glasner talking about this, is that, like, they didn't, when they, obviously, where they finished last season, the things that they did last season, winning a trophy as well and all of that. Listen, they had a great season in that regards, right? They needed to really kick on. They really needed to kick on. And this season, I've just kind of felt with them that they've, I don't want to say, I was going to say inconsistent, but you know what? It's like borderline inconsistent. I feel like with Crystal Palace, it's like you're in the inconsistent bracket, but you're not fully deep in just yet. Because I know we've seen you go on like little, obviously the early part of the season, you went on like a little bit of a good run, kind of thing. But yeah, just recently, and Glasner's spoken about, like, obviously this is the first time they're doing Europe and then Premier League games. They needed better quality players to be able to handle that. And listen, we've seen it with so many different teams. We've seen it with Aston Villa, we've seen it with Newcastle, you've seen it with Spurs. Like, it's difficult. When you don't do this on a regular basis, it is very tricky to do Europe and Premier League football. But that's not really an excuse, man. Manchester United, in my opinion, were there for the taking. Now, onto the goals. Yo, see that Xerxes goal? Yo, that goal was serious. That goal was serious, bruv. Like, the angle that he shot that, big up Mustafa, bruv. Like, that angle that he took that shot at, I didn't think that was going in. I really did. Like, even when it went in, like, and it was only when I saw Xerxes wheel away to celebrate, then I was like, oh shit, it actually went in. I was thinking, bruv, like, there's bare people in the box. The goalkeeper is right there. Really and truly, the goalkeeper, in my opinion, should be doing better. Dean Henderson. I keep saying, Palace need to buy a new goalkeeper. I've never rated Dean Henderson like that. But anyways, the goal went in, and I was like, right, okay, cool. Then Mason Mount scores from a free kick, but obviously it was laid off by Bruno Fernandes, who now gets another assist added to his name. But again, it was a good finish. The wall, like, I don't know, man. Like, it was just annoying. I was like, bro, like, what kind of a wall is this? What is this? This don't make no sense. Do you get what I'm saying? I know Dean Henderson shouting at his wall and this, that, and the third, and waving his arms about and all that kind of stuff. But I was like, what is this, man? Like, you guys need to pattern up when you're doing these kind of things, man. But listen, good finish by Mason Mount. Would I say Man United deserved it? I would have gone with a draw. I'll probably go with a draw. But Manchester United got the victory, man, and they needed this victory 1,000,000%, man. They needed to obviously get back to winning ways, but also it was always going to be a tough game. It was always going to be a tough game against Crystal Palace, especially away, Selhurst Park. You already know what the ground's saying. You already know what the fans are saying. And Manchester United are one of them teams where, they can fold in 2 seconds like a deck chair, but at the same time, when they click in a certain kind of way, I mean, they can do good things. They can do good things. So yeah. Like I said, I still think that a draw was the result that when you look at it on the face of it. But listen, Manchester United got the victory in the end. Bruno overtakes Scholes, 56 assists for us in the Premier League. In fairness, though, by the way, that's good. By the way, that is really, really good. But when it's like, see, when I saw this, I did see this, him overtaking Paul Scholes. I was like, yeah, but it's one of those, isn't it? Like, if anything, I'm more looking at it's a 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. Because I'm looking at it thinking, oh, you took this long to pass Paul Scholes, if I'm being really true. Scholes was never really someone I looked at and was like, and again, we're talking about a different time when we're talking about football. But Scholes was never really someone I looked at and thought, oh yeah, like Paul Scholes, like he's gonna get me 15 assists this season because he's the chief creator of goals. He played in a team that had David Beckham and that. So realistically, was he ever gonna do that? On the flip side, Bruno has played with some shit strikers and some shit players, like some real shit players. So from when he's done that, I'm like, yeah, fairs. You probably could have passed Paul Scholes a long time ago had it not been you playing with Hoyland as an example, kind of thing, and you playing with the likes of like a Xerxes and stuff like that. Like these are not really that good of players. Well, they've not been good for Manchester United, should I say? So yeah, like it's like I said, 6 or 1, half a dozen of the other. You got West Ham Wolves next. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting, man. It's gonna be really interesting. He's had Fred, McTominay, Matic. Yeah, he's had them next. I'm talking in obviously when he's laying off assists for some of the strikers you guys have had, some of the attackers that you've had, the Garnachos. Bruv, he's been playing with some meaty players, like some real meaty players, man. Big up Scraps in the building, man. Only good midfielder next to him was Pogba. Yeah, and even he at Manchester United wasn't really popping. Do you get what I'm saying? So, yeah, it's one of those. But listen, very good for Bruno Fernandes. I still think, listen, he's your best midfielder that you've got. I think he's a good player. I know some people don't rate him. I get it. I do actually get it to a certain degree. But for me, I rate him. I think he's a good player. And I think if he was in a better team, you'd be talking about him in a completely different light, in my personal opinion. Good morning to you, Morris. Next up, Fulham versus Tottenham. Guys, yeah, watch the replay. If you go on Sky Sports, yeah, because I didn't watch this game live, but if you watch the replay on Sky Sports, if you hear the Spurs fans, oh my God, it was mental. It was mental. Like the way they were screaming. Yeah, that Fulham kit is solid, still true, 100%. If you hear the way that these Spurs fans were getting onto to their team, it was mad. But it was fully justified because Spurs were just at 6s and 7s at the back. Like I don't even know at this point. And listen, I've seen all the discourse, by the way, from Spurs fans and talking about Thomas Frank. I can't go into that. I don't watch Spurs enough to judge and to vilify any of the fans and say, oh no, it's not really him and all that kind of stuff, right? I can't say that. What I can say is in the bits that I have seen, and even looking at this game in particular, Thomas Frank couldn't really do much about some of the things that was going on though. Like it was just pure mistakes, bro. Like I've never the amount of mistakes that was going. There was obviously Harry Wilson's goal. It was Vicario coming out. Like he tried. He did a good thing at first. He came out, tried to stop the danger. Cool. He got the ball. Instead of either kicking it out for a throw or just kicking it long somewhere else, this guy decided to use his left foot to kick it. He kicked it straight to, I can't remember who it was. It might have been Raul Jimenez. I can't remember who it was, but he obviously got the ball, passed it to Harry Wilson. Obviously, he's out of goal now. So then Harry Wilson, he shoots more or less, well, not more or less, he shoots into an empty net. Good finish, good technique and all of that kind of stuff, but it was an empty net. There was no one there. It is what it is. I can't blame Thomas Frank for that. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Then there was a chance, yeah, that, was it Chukwueze? He had a chance running through on goal, but just prior to that, the ball's obviously being kicked along. Pedro Porro, clear your fucking lines, bro. Clear, instead of taking 10 years to let the ball bounce so it's in nice control. Bro, it took 10 years. Guess what, Chukwueze? He stills in. Obviously, Van de Ven then comes back and then obviously makes the tackle. But I was like, bro, come on. Like, I can't, that's not a manager problem. That's got nothing, that's got 0% to do with the manager. That's all a player problem. And then there were other bits in the game. I'm like, bro, like, I don't know. Like, I can't blame the manager. And again, like I said, I'm not here to tell Spurs fans how to feel. It's up to you. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, you watch your team week in, week out. I know that in some of the games that I have watched, yes, I can look at the manager and say, come on, Thomas Frank, man, you got to do better than this and blah, blah, blah. Fair enough. But in this game, I ain't looking at Thomas Frank. I'm sorry. That's not a Thomas Frank thing. For me, this game, purely on the players, and the players should be receiving 100%, of the blame. Or if you want to put in 90% of the blame and 10%, you can put maybe tactically and, all of that kind of stuff. Fair enough. But come on, man. Like, if your team's making the kind of mistakes that Spurs were making, yeah. And if I'm being honest, man, I had high hopes for Spurs. I had high hopes. Now, again, the season is long, right? So we got some time to be able to kind of see what's going to happen with Spurs moving forward. But not looking too, do you know what I'm saying? Not looking too great for them at this current moment in time. But big up to Fulham. Big up to Fulham, man. Deserved victory, bro. Like, they deserve to get that victory 100%. I don't really feel like Spurs deserved anything out of the game, to be honest with you. Like, they just, in my opinion, they just stank. They just absolutely stank. Frank had a better attack at Brentford than Spurs. Mbuemo, Damsgaard, Visser, Shade are all better than Richarlison. Yeah, he definitely had a better attack. I don't know what it is with Thomas Frank, man. I like Thomas Frank. I really do think he's a good manager, but I don't know what it is with Spurs at this current moment in time, especially with him. I just think, I don't know if it's a case of expectation meeting reality. Again, I don't watch them enough to really judge that. So I don't want to be disingenuous, but yeah, I don't know if it's expectation versus reality. I don't know if it's a case of like the players are not fitting to his system. He's not fitting his system to the players. He's trying to do things. I don't know. Like, it's going to be interesting to see how the next few weeks kind of go for Spurs. Like, heading it, like we just started 1st of December, right? So going into January, it will be very interesting to see where Spurs are at. I don't know. Obviously, we'll check the table at the end of this, but I'll be intrigued to see where Spurs are when it hits the 1st of Jan. Because if they're still languishing as low as I think they are, then it's going to be kind of peak. I'd rather have Palace, Brentford attack than Spurs, Mateta, Sarr, Pino, Thiago. Yeah, bro, of course. But I still expect Spurs to be a bit better than they have been. Do you get what I'm saying? Regardless of the other teams' attacks and stuff like that, surely they've got better players in other areas than a Palace, than a Brentford. Do you get what I'm saying? So I feel like it should balance itself out where they should be doing better. You know, they should definitely be doing better. So we'd have to wait and see, man. But like I said, man, big up to Fulham for the victory. Liverpool, as you can see in the title, as you can see in the caption. Oh, no, it'll be down there below somewhere. Liverpool finally win a game. So interesting, man. They finally win a football match in the Premier League. 2-0 clean sheet against West Ham. I didn't see the game, but from what I hear, I don't think West Ham had a shot on target. I want to say, I haven't really checked the stats, so I don't really know. But one of the things I did see, well, I say I saw, but one of the things that, big up Jerry, because he was the one who, when I was chatting to him on the phone, he was the one who told me about the lineup. Obviously, Salah was dropped. Gomez came in. Was Bozalai playing right wing? Someone in the chat, you guys can let me know. I'm not too sure. I don't know. I'm going to assume from the lineup that I saw, or from the lineup that I heard, that, yeah, Szoboszlai was playing right wing, but I could be wrong in that regards. But anyways, I watched the highlights on Sky Sports, and Isak's goal was good. You know what I mean? I like that goal. That goal was actually really good. Paqueta obviously getting himself sent off. I saw his whole statement come the end of the game. I saw the statement after the game, him talking about it. I was like, bro, like when you're coming out with statements, this is why people look at you kind of weird and think, yo, is he still doing the match fixing stuff? Because, you know what I'm saying? It's a bit weird. It's a bit weird. That's all people are saying, is that it's way too coincidental, right? For you to be getting yourself sent off and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, I don't know. I found it kind of weird. I don't know. It is what it is. He got himself sent off. It's just one of those, right? But yeah, like I said, man, Liverpool 2-0 victory. Like I said, I didn't see the game. People are, I see Trudon to saying that, yeah, look, Wirtz was good. Good for Wirtz, man. Finally, do you get what I'm saying? Like, it's about time that he kind of did his thing. Let's see how Liverpool move, man. Let's see how Liverpool move. I think this is one of them games. This is one of them games where I'm just like, you know what? It's damned if you do, damned if you don't. Do you get what I'm saying? It really is. Big up, Jerry. I'm gonna literally end this in like 10 minutes anyway, bro. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. It's one of those. Like, Liverpool won the game. It's good. They needed the 3 points. Arne Slot alongside Rob Edwards of Wolves, they were the two managers this weekend who needed victories like no tomorrow. Obviously, Leeds needed it, but I don't know if they really felt they could get that. But yeah. Like I say, Arne Slot, Rob Edwards, you can throw the Leeds manager in there as well. Those are the three managers. They needed a victory. Like, they 100% needed victories this weekend. And no matter how it came, they just needed that victory. Yeah, like I say, man, when Liverpool get to like 10 victories in a row, come back to me and we can have this conversation about how good or bad. I don't really care about how they played. I don't really care if people think that they played well. I don't care if you think Verts played well. I don't care about none of that because none of that matters. You know what I'm saying? Like one game isn't gonna it's not really gonna determine anything, to be honest with you. So yeah, we just move on to the next game. I'm sure there's Premier League games during the week, actually. In fact, yeah, I'm confident that there's games this week during the Premier League. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. I'm sure there's games during the week. So yeah, let me know. But yeah, so Liverpool have another chance to get another victory, really and truly. And then potentially they can go on a roll. And then you kind of just take it. You just really take it from there. Big up, Doug, man. Big up, Doug. Hope you're doing well, guys. Make sure you subscribe to the Doug Out Football channel, please. Full midweek card. Okay, yeah, cool. I thought so. This is all cool, but was Salah really dropped because we went through this with yeah, I did. Listen, like I said, I don't know. I'm pretty sure the guys will talk about it. Like I said, excuse me. Like I said, 11 o'clock, Dean and I think it's they're doing football talk. So Dean and Ends over at FamZone, they're going to talk about it anyway. So yeah, they'll be the best ones to ask in that regards, in it. So I don't know. And like I said, I don't really care, to be honest with you. Sunderland next. Fucking hell. That is going to be an interesting game. All right, moving on. Brentford, 3-1 victory against Burnley. Comprehensive. Very, very comprehensive. Brentford, you know who I like from Brentford people? Coyote. You can see him there in the pit. He's the one on the far left. He's good. He's really, really good, man. I liked him when he was at Fiorentina, man. If you guys, big up to those who watch my player watches and stuff. I'm going to bring that back anyway. I've got a few locked in the chamber. I need to actually just release them. I don't know why I haven't. But yeah. Check those out because I remember speaking about him maybe like 2 years ago when he was at Fiorentina. He was good, man. And he's gone to Brentford. I feel like he's just doing well. He's just really, really doing well. I know a lot of people say, yeah, like sign him. I saw over the weekend, see people saying, yeah, now we got to sign like KOD for the right back slot and then whatever, blah, blah, blah. I was like, yeah, maybe. Like, do you know what I mean? If that's a feasible thing, then like I wouldn't be against it. I think he's a good player. Strong, fast. He's got good technical ability as well. Yeah, man. He's a good little player, man. But yeah, like I said, I only watched the highlights of this. Brentford, yeah, it looked like it was a calm victory for them. Burnley, looking like they could be in a bit of trouble. Thiago is the second top scorer. Oh, swear, he's got 11 goals. Yeah, they do, bruv. They always spawn fucking goal scorers, isn't it? Always. They just have. They're one of them teams that just they'll always be okay in terms of scoring goals. Whether that means they will stay up is another thing, but they'll always be able to score goals, and they always have like that one guy who can just bag them the goals, kind of thing. It's interesting, man. Big up to Brentford, though, man. Big up to Brentford. And Newcastle 4-1 victory against Everton. I believe it's Newcastle's first away victory in the Premier League. Again, correct me if I'm wrong, but this was real comprehensive. Like, that's the word of the day, comprehensive, man. That was really comprehensive from Newcastle. I think they needed it. They definitely needed it. I saw a couple Newcastle fans kind of moaning, especially midweek in that Champions League and stuff, but I mean, you're facing against Marseille, so it's one of those. But yeah, either way, I saw them moaning about it. And to go away to Everton, I know it's their new ground, but it's still Everton at home, which is always going to be a tough fixture. Bro, they made that shit look easy. Now, obviously, I did that video, right? Talking about Ekitike. And I said, you know what? I was wrong. Ekitike is a good player, 100%. And I still stand by that. I do think he's a really, really good player. You see, big up, Gary. You see Voltamada, though. Voltamada he's just different. I don't know how to explain it, but there's something about him that is just different. Like, he's a more natural goal scorer than Ekitike anyway. But obviously that you could tell from their time in Germany and stuff like that. That was quite obvious. Ekitike was kind of more of a facilitator for Marmoush. Marmoush is really the bad boy getting the goals and stuff like that. Ekitike, obviously, he ate as well, and he scored some really, really good goals, and he scored some really good goals for Liverpool this season. But Voltamada he's just different. Like, in front of goal, this guy is just different. I don't know how to explain it, but he's just different in front of goal, kind of thing. I like that about him. Like, he's just in front of goal. He's just him. in front of goal. And it doesn't really phase him when he does get in front of goal. Like the goal, like man lobbed, picked. It was so funny, but it was just, when I saw the goal, I was just like, bro, that's such a Voldemort finish. Like your goals are just never simple, are they? Unless it's a penalty, and even your penalties are mad. Like your penalties are top bins and all this kind of stuff, and chip down the middles and all this, all of these Panenkas and whatnots, right? But yeah, he's honestly, I like him. I really do like him. I think he's a good player for Newcastle. And yeah, really, really good signing for Newcastle, man. Really good. They needed someone who can obviously replace Alexander Isak. Again, fantastic player. Someone who obviously got the lion's share of their goals. Someone who killer in front of goal. I'm not saying Voltemada, by the way, is on the Isak level in terms of being a killer in front of goal, but he is, he's good in front of goal. Now he just needs to remain, consistent. Malik Tau, he obviously got himself 2 goals. Again, check my player watch on him whilst he was at AC Milan. Good centre back. I actually wanted him for Liverpool quite during that period of time, actually, when I did that video, so maybe like a year or 2 ago. Yeah, he's a good player, man. He's a good player. Like, I don't know AC Milan's financial situation. Like, I have no idea. So I don't know why they let him go. I don't know if it's maybe even he just didn't fit the squad. I have no idea. But yeah, that was a real coup. That was a real coup for Newcastle. I can't lie, especially when you've got Sven Botman, Shaw's obviously getting older. Botman was obviously, I don't know about him now, but getting himself injured and stuff like that. So getting in a Malik Tau, yeah, really, really good signing, man. Really, really good signing. Sunderland versus Bournemouth, man. Sunderland getting the victory 3-2. Honestly, Sunderland this season are performing like a seasoned Premier League team. They are honestly performing like listen, this could be just one of them one-season wonders, and we don't know until we see them next season. But they're just performing like a team that's, we've been there. They're performing like Bournemouth, like a Brighton. They're doing that. They're performing, like they're winning these type of games where you're thinking, this is maybe where you get taught a lesson. Come up against Arsenal, this is where you really get taught a lesson. They ain't losing. Obviously, I know they have lost the season, but they're not losing games like that. They're not. They're really, really not. They are where they are on merit. They've been a really, really good team, man. And again, I rate them. I rate them this season, man. One player, obviously, if you're doing the team of the season, one player from their team, I would say needs to be in the team of the season. It has to be Xhaka. Xhaka has to be in the team of it. Like, I don't care what other midfielders you like. I don't care what other midfielders you rate. Xhaka has been better than majority of them, 100%. He's been a top 3 midfielder at best. At least, should I say, in my personal opinion. Do you get what I'm saying? Declan Rice, Caicedo's cool. If you want to put them in there, I'm not even going to argue. But he has been better than everybody else. Better than any Liverpool midfielder, better than any Newcastle, Man United. He's been better than Enzo Fernandez. Trying to think, Spurs, whatever team you want to put in there, he's been better than all of them. Easily been better than all. He's been fan-fucking-tastic. Absolutely fantastic. And this was a good victory. This is a very, very good victory. Obviously, I know Bournemouth going down 10 men and all of that fares. But regardless of that, Sunderland, man, doing their thing. They are doing their thing this season. Beware when you come up against Sunderland, honestly. You're saying whoever's got Sunderland next, beware. Be very, very aware. Brighton, man. I was shocked when I saw Brighton didn't concede in the game because Brighton just seemed like a team that always concede goals. It doesn't matter if it's 1 goal, if it's 3 goals, if it's 7 goals, whatever. Brighton, for me, I just always feel like if you're doing a bet, I always think, you can put both teams to score on Brighton game. Doesn't matter who they're playing. I just think both teams will just end up scoring. So I was very, very shocked. I was very, very shocked. And listen, man, Nottingham Forest, the way they're obviously looking at it is ultimately coming off of the back of the game against Liverpool. Midweek game, I think, in the Europa League, I want to say that was, in the Europa League. Funny, I ain't watched no Europa League games at all. Like, not one. That's crazy. It's funny because I've watched Palace in the Conference League, but I guess you already knew that. But listen, look, Brighton, 2-0 victory. Kind of, would I say comfortable? There were moments. There were odd moments for Nottingham Forest from what I saw in the highlights, but didn't really seem like they did enough to get the victory. But listen, a very good victory for Brighton, man. Like I said, they're like Palace, Bournemouth. Them teams where they're just like they're in the inconsistency bracket for me, but they're not deep within the inconsistency bracket, like a Manchester United. Like I feel like Man United are deep into that inconsistency bracket where you're just like 1 week you'll beat Palace 2-1, then you'll lose your next game against whoever, Wolves as an example. Like I'm not saying Wolves your next game, but if your next game is against Wolves, you'll then go and lose. Then you'll lose the next game. Then you'll draw. Then you'll get a victory here, 2 victories maybe. Obviously they were coming off. They did have that 5 game where they didn't lose and obviously beat Liverpool in that time. But then they go back to I think they lost it after that, and it's like all drew. You're just like, okay, cool. Do you know what I mean? Like you're not really able to remain consistent. That's exactly what Brighton are at this moment. They're in there. In fact, no, I'll put them into the Manchester United, actually. No, I'll put them with Man United because I do think that they are very up and down as a team. I don't want to be disingenuous. So, yeah, I'll put them in there. This game, Wolves versus Aston Villa. Aston Villa obviously getting the victory. As I said, Rob Edwards, Arne Slot. Is it Daniel Farke? Is he the Leeds United? I'm sure he is. Leeds United manager. Yeah, those 3 managers, I feel they were the ones I looked at and said they needed to get victories this weekend. Whether you believed you could get the victory or not, obviously remains to be seen, but they needed the victories. Unfortunately for Wolves, they didn't get it. Not for the want of trying, though. Not for the want of trying. They had a goal disallowed. Strand Larsen goal was disallowed because the same reason why they disallowed Van Dijk's goal against Manchester City, for the same reason. Where was it? No, was it Van Dijk's goal? Is that the one where Robertson was in the way? Whichever goal that was, whoever scored was supposed to have scored. I think it was Van Dijk. No, yeah, I think it was Van Dijk. But yeah, they had another goal like that disallowed. I can't remember who the player was, but he ran in front of Emi Martinez. He quickly complained and all that kind of stuff. Aston Villa with another goal from outside of the box. I was like, fucking hell, there goes another one to add to collection. You know what I mean? They're having their own little mini goal of the season competition by themselves. I'll be very interested to find out how many of Aston Villa's goals this season would be contenders for goal of the season. Because they're scoring so many of these long ranges. But good finish by Kamara. Very, very good finish. Good player as well. I like him. But Wolves are good, though. From what I saw, Wolves look pretty deep. Like, Wolves look like they had enough chances maybe to even go ahead and win the game. That's what, to me, it looked like that. But listen, when you're down there and your luck is just absolutely wank, then, yeah, it's just one of those, man. It's just one of those, man. But yes, that is the end of the fixtures. Like I say, man, just a quick round up. Here's the table. Here is the table for you guys. Arsenal still sit top, 5 points clear of Manchester City, who are in second place with their victory against Leeds United. Obviously, Chelsea dropped down to third due to that draw. Aston Villa level on points with Chelsea at the moment, doing really, really well, to be honest with you. They're just getting these victories, and it seems like they're getting them at the right time. Brighton, I mean, I'm talking about them being inconsistent, but they're fucking sitting 5th. Do you get what I mean? So they're doing something right. They're doing something right. Sunderland sitting there in 6th place on 22 points as well. Man United in 7th. Liverpool move up the table. They are now out of the bottom half of the table, and they move up to the heavy heights of 8th in the Premier League, still 9 points off of the top. So you're talking about a 3 to 4 game swing. Well, I say now 4 game if you look at the goal difference, because Liverpool finally on 0. I think are they the only team? Yeah, Liverpool the only team who are on 0 when it comes to the goal difference, which is very, very funny. Crystal Palace just behind them, 1 point behind, +6 on goals. Brentford round up the top 10. Like I said about Spurs, you know what I'm saying? Like 12th is not where they thought they would be at this stage of the season. So if they're still languishing in these kind of positions come January, there's going to be some real big conversations. And also as well, I just think it's about the kind of atmosphere in and around Spurs at this moment in time. I feel like, yeah, that might cause them a few issues. But listen, we'll just have to wait and see. West Ham just above relegation on goal difference. Leeds, Burnley, and Wolves. Yeah, I feel like that's kind of true. I feel like, you know what? When I'm looking at the table, obviously, yeah, Fulham 15th. Yeah, on 17 points. Yeah, Fulham just need to climb up a little bit. They'll be disappointed with being obviously very happy that they got the victory against Spurs, but they will probably feel like, yeah, we need to kind of climb up a little bit. But listen, man, the table 13 game weeks in, Arsenal still top of the league, looking really, really strong still. I know obviously they drew, but ultimately Chelsea are actually really good. And they have shown in recent weeks that they can be a team that could potentially challenge for the title with their performances. So, and listen, they've still got Cole Palmer to come back into play. So, if they can just stay in and around it until he gets back, and I have no idea when he does come back, then yeah, that might be a little bit problematic for them. Sunderland, yeah. I think 7 more games to when we hit that 20 game mark. Let's see. Let's see. But yeah, man, big up, guys. Like I said, quick little roundup. You'll be redirected over to FamZone TV. So make sure you just G-raid if you want. Just make sure you smash that like button when you do enter in to his chat. I think they will be going live at 11 o'clock, but you can still smash the like button regardless. Do you get what I'm saying? You can still show some love over to the man them over on that side. I might be back. Obviously, we've got games midweek anyway, so I will be back with the game week 14 kind of reaction as well. So we'll take a look at that. Can Liverpool go on a 2-game winning streak? You get what I'm saying? Can Arsenal bounce back? I don't know who their next game is. Manchester City are still on their kind of coattails. Like I say, you don't want Manchester City to click into some kind of gear. And the closer they're staying within touching distance. That's the thing. They are very, very close. Do you get what I'm saying? Might be, bro, we don't do. I told you, Liverpool have to go on a 10-game winning run. That's the only time I'll accept Liverpool back. I'll be so real. Even if Liverpool go top, like let's say Arsenal lose their next 4 games and Liverpool win their next 4 and then they go top or what, I'll still be like, nah, Liverpool need to go on a 10-game winning run. Till I see that, yeah, I'm not trying to hear none of that. And to be honest, regardless of that anyway, I still don't care. You still work. This manager needs to bounce. Brentford. Yeah, Brentford, man. Like I said, listen, they're in the top 10. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, they're one of them teams that Brentford are one of them teams that just want to do things quietly. Do you know what I'm saying? They want to be in the background. They want to do their thing. And then out randomly, you'll look at the table at game week 20 and you'll be like, oh, right, what? Brentford they're sitting 8th. Okay, cool. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, all of a sudden now. Do you get what I'm saying? So, yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see. But big up to everybody. Love for every single one of you who's obviously joined me this morning. Arsenal got Brentford. Okay, Arsenal got Brentford next. Fair enough. I'm going to assume Arsenal are at home. So we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, big up to the members as well of the channel. Like I said, I will be doing that members only chat very soon. So make sure you just you stay locked in. Smash the like button on your way out if you haven't done so already. And yeah, man, I'll catch you guys real soon. Big up.